And that physical damage harass build is exactly the kind of thing that the Timbersaw usually feels decent about. He'll just get his stacks. The SF will definitely hit him harder than most with the minus armor, but I've got a feeling that the Timbersaw is not going to be too upset about this.
Yeah. What I'm kind of looking at here is the last time Electronic Boys played this SF was with the Team Magnus series. They actually played the SF in mid and starting off the raises.
Yeah, that
And
was
they
their
put
stand-in.
themselves the that was the stand-in. So Oklahoma was playing carry at that point. So let's see if Murdoch has something special with this SF of his. It's been a repeating pattern for some specific teams, like this Conca Pos 1, for example. Very Eastern European thing. Seen it very frequently. I think Nemiga with Keratic was one of the guys who was constantly picking safe lane Conca, winning games, and kind of feeling like he was creating this kind of bumper for people to try it out and see for themselves that, hey, this actually works. Like, why didn't we think of this before? Like, you feel like Conca is a super XP dependent hero. He still gets so much benefit from a +1 roll.
I like that you're bringing your Eastern EU knowledge in here, because Comfort is, of course, a Russian player. He's got Russian nationality, at least over on Liquipedia. They usually got that stuff, right? So
Yeah,
he's
Felt
bringing
has
some
they have
flavor.
3 Eastern European players, so they've definitely maybe run into this in their pubs before, possibly, potentially, or maybe even scrims. Kind of, even if you're playing from a different region, I believe if you have a same region team from outside the tour, like in this case, Felt playing in NA, but still playing most likely against some Eastern European teams in scrims, possibly.
You're supposed to scrim in your region, right? And it's the
You're
best
supposed to
idea
scrim,
to
yeah.
get the most information out as well. So I wonder.
Yeah, obviously you will do that with your own region teams, but there's a chance that they've probably played out. I don't have any more accurate information about scrims. I don't think we should be sharing information about scrims anyway, because that's between the teams. We can hypothetically think that the pub meta from the high-ranking MMR games or even scrims have kind of influenced with the idea of it. But Zor taking a bit of damage here, and do they get the third raise from Murdoch? No. Not going to be enough for a kill. He was thinking about it for a second, cancels the cast.
And he has taken
raises. Get to
raises.
see the raise level 1.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would do this, at the very least in order to pressure Zor immediately once the lane starts, but maybe for later on as well, because if he doesn't, there is absolutely no punishment around level 5 when his Timbersaw gets ready to go on him, especially together with the Nyx Assassin. And I've seen SFs time after time, offlaner hits 5, they have no defensive capabilities, and there's only a Grimstroke here to save him. They start dying at that point.
This is ours.
So you gotta keep him down now.
Timbersaw 0 lasted so far, and look at this support battle with Albino, Zebra, and Wake Me Up. I just love it. They're just having a brawl in front of the tier 3 towers. And this is their game. This is literally their game. Albino Zebra clears out the creep wave, picks the level 2 for the Grimstroke. And with this lane so far in, now the lane for the Shadow Fiend is pushing under the tower. Potentially Murdoch getting to harass this Timbersaw even more. Lane control is going to be all over the place. However, top lane is going to be the first blood for the Conca. And Albino Zebra still being chased by Wake Me Up. And look at this. 290 versus 355 movement speed. This Storm's going to have to intervene. But if they don't lose the Grim, he doesn't have the mana to cast a stun. He does have Spike Carapace up right now. And he baits the Grimstroke for it. The right click from the Grim was too much to deal with. Bounces back to damage, mini stun applied, and Nyx is there to score that hill. Meanwhile, Conca in the top lane, Torrent push out the Clockwork into the air. Silporkle helping up, Make Me Up will deny himself. Makes a lot of sense. It's, all of his resources were pretty much spent at that point.
Yep, and I have to say, maybe I underestimated the impact of this Clockwork in his top lane, because the Kunkka should be dealing fairly well with the Nature's Prophet, but ZYZZ has just been, or shall we call him Ziz, has just been up in his Kunkka's face, and he can't do anything against this. She's getting cogged, getting clicked down, battery assault, last tick, he gets it.
Stupendous.
Getting pushed around and poked around and prodded, and hopefully doesn't get probed at this point, because they're just finding this Kunkka the whole time. Like, we know exactly where you are. We're gonna make your life an absolute living misery. They know what he did last summer.
I think I know too. He was pubbing.
He was. Timber finally picking up a couple CS, though looking at this mid matchup for a second, it's very even. But the water runes both being taken away. Storm Spirit has no bottle fill. Top, there's a bit of a dive going on. Steel Barco. Battery Assault is there. Speed picks up the 3rd kill already from this lane. We
He is getting out of control.
Being a good hero pickup against this Nature's Prophet, but right now, Belt, well, they're feeling it.
They are, and this is exactly the kind of game that I've seen before where eBoys does best. When Speed has a great lane, can dedicate the tempo of the game, and so far he's got a good start for it.
And again, trying to poke the Nature's Prophet out. Ziz, X-Mark, Soren is there, trying to get a potential kill on the Clockwork. He is able to dispel the cold feet. Battery Assault used, Creep Wave chasing, removing out some treants from the side. They have taken down the next assassin at the same time in the bottom lane. Murdoch and Albino Zebra will live through it. Timbersaw is not going to be able to score a returning kill. Crawling in mid, Solji with Oklahoma. Not a kill here, though, but closing up on those level 6s. I would love to see the Storm Spirit rotate very early on with that early level 6, because it feels like every lane has kill opportunities. Bottom, again, the stun of the Grimstroke. Raises from Murdoch, a lot of damage on Zor, pushing the Timbersaw away. They got the combo, we're connected on the next assassin. This should be a kill. Murdoch should be able to get it, 9 HP. Grimstroke's gonna have to secure it in the end to make sure the Nyx doesn't walk away.
And is Raise's build really working out for Murdoch? I'm curious to see what he's going to go into next. Yeah, Falcon Blade, exactly, because normally this build needs the mana regen in order to farm, so he's got that secured, and now Zor. This was supposed to be the window where a Timbersaw starts taking over the lane versus an SF, and instead he is the one who goes down.
Yep, he thought wrong. Grimstroke with 1 point in Phantom's Embrace. Timber can't Timber chain away. Has to focus on killing the bug. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend is raising you at the same time. Solji, though. Meteor Hammer ready.
Sneaky.
Looking for this SF kill. He's hoping for him to move closer, and he does, and he's got the range for it. Meteor Hammer has to connect to get this kill. He's got ulti and everything available, and we'll get the orb. And not using his ulti. He's just gonna leave him to die with the Meteor Hammer debuff.
Stylish.
Kill the SF. Very, yeah. He knew this SF has no way to survive.
Meanwhile, setting up for a brawl in top, Make Me Up. The Wake Me Up has an Invis rune, so he is mixing about at level 2. I'd love to get Speed here.
He's singing a song in his mind, like, pick me up before you go. Meanwhile, Solji, he's found the Grimstroke with the ulti, but now the initiation from top, looking for it. Still nothing. There we go. But the Invis is broken. The stun is there. NP tough target. Torrent into the air. Should be falling here. Speed gets it, but the Treants also take Steel Barco. Murdoch gets a kill on Solji. What the heck is happening here? Murdoch is down too. Sword diving under the tower. Looking for Oklahoma with the Storm Spirit there, trying to save his buddy. They got 1 kill, but do they end up losing more? 7 stick charges. Timber Chain available. 90 HP. Is he going to get killed instead? Because Albino Zebra is there too. Looking for the X-Ball stun, connecting onto Zor. And has the Stroke of Fate. Doesn't want to right-click this Timber too many times, because otherwise he's just going to regenerate himself up, and that fight comes to an end. Absolute mayhem!
What just happened? Whew. At the very least, they finally get Speed down on the top lane. That's huge. That also meant that he couldn't contribute to anything on bot, but fortunately for eBoys that wasn't necessary, as the Storm Spirit with that Soul Ring manages to squeeze just enough mana out to not go down to Zor.
All top lane. We're gonna go onto the Nature's Prophet. Both connects. Stun from the next assassin. Torrent to the air. Everything combos. Everything clicks. You can hide in your trees, but there's nowhere to hide. He's already on top of you. Meanwhile, Zor gets a kill as well from the Ziz. Wow. Stroke of Fate, 14 HP, Ring of Health. What an absolutely, you know,
normal day in NA.
Yeah, normal day in NA. I was about to say what an absolutely not broken item in this case, but the Timbersaw, so much HP regen, lives through that. And now still Barco's hunting the Shadow Fiend. I don't feel he wants to go in because there's no Ice Blast. And Solji's found another one in mid. Though no hammer. Mid tower almost down. 2 versus 3 in mid. Waiting for the escalation, the tipping point. Wake me up, chasing Murdoch in the trees. They've pinged the location of the SF. He's just outside of vision. He doesn't know he's being hunted right now. Now he recognizes and realizes, oh wait, hang on. Is this a trap he's just sprung on me? Seems like it is. And the tips. Make it a triple.
There we go. Meanwhile, mid. There was an attempted Inkswell go with Oklahoma.
That might have been too deep though. OD has a Meteor Hammer available. There's the bug. Okay, Soldi's not using it. Fair enough.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Understands the limits of his hero too, that if he does start to channel it, quickly gets jumped on by Vortex, they might as well just kill the OD, because you've used Prison, you've used Hammer, and you're completely open. Zor getting jumped on by the Storm Spirit. Oklahoma got the backup from Ziz, from Albino Zebra. If only you had level 6s on your supports, but is it going to be enough? 4 versus 1. Timbersaw running for it and making the home run, and Solji gets a kill from this Nature's Prophet with the help of Comfort in the top lane. You just used a 4-man rotation, and instead you lose a hero on the other lane. The one guy you left behind. You never leave a friend behind.
Except if he goes to the wrong neighborhood, man. And
what is this game, Pips?
Entertaining for sure. I really like Solji. Every time I think, alright, I know where he's gonna go next with his Meteor Hammer, I'm wrong. He's TPing over to the side lanes, ganking with this OD like he is a Queen of Pain.
And the next kill.
Oh man.
That will be Steel Borko. Ziz will take that one. Stroke and Clock finding another kill. If you are not entertained in the audience right now, I don't know what tingles you, but we are on fire. I mean, I am loving the amount of action right now. Since I'm the guy, like, from 3 or 4 years back, you get to cast an Eastern European game, you're hyped because you know you're going to get like a 3 to 4 kill per minute average. If this is what we're really going to get out of NA from this tour, seeing games like this, bring it on.
Absolutely.
Give me this. Give me this.
Oh,
look at this Odie getting slapped. Look at this guy getting clapped. Just jumping on Solji. No respect, no remorse.
Is there going to be punishment for this Nyx?
Oklahoma
has no mana left.
Assassin. Oklahoma in trouble, maybe. Yeah. Look at this Nyx Assassin lining up for himself for a Meteor Hammer. And these two guys are just gonna keep spanking the Storm. Oklahoma getting killed by Steel Barco of all heroes. Now Murdoch's here. Now Comfort is coming as well. Sis with a Clockwork getting comboed. He's down to half HP. Kunkka keeping up the chase. And look at that. They've taken Murdoch. Or have they? Murdoch blows his ulti into Zor. And Timbersaw pushed out. This Timber is low on HP. And Steel Barco looking for the snipe the ulti. Doesn't quite connect onto the SF. And Solji is also showing up in here. Can we get some more heroes into mid, please? Because this Grimstroke is getting killed, but Tidebringer from Comfort.
That's
what does our producer think about this?
Probably getting a sore arm from clicking around. That was very expensive. They extend very deep to get that kill on Solji, and there's no real disengagement there. There's no good reason for Murdoch to show up to that fight. He's getting distracted from farming, which is really what you pick this SF for the farming speed. Right now he is not doing that.
Aye, and as our producer highlighted, the Orchid for the Nature's Prophet seems to be in the works, and now TPs towards the bot lane. Also making an appearance, a grand entry, Timbersaw taking control for a sec. Do they have enough for a kill? It does look like it. The Hood's not gonna save his life. Also means the OD has to back away, and that leaves the top lane completely open. Sadly, there's nobody there to go for push.
And this Orchid is a big change. We haven't really seen Speed get involved with anything just yet. He's just been putting pressure on his top lane, eventually getting this top tower down. The brawling has been done by others, or has been done to him. But now we're going to see the impact of this Orchid that he just found, and this is a killer, especially for the OD, but also for both of its supports.
I found the next assassin again. The combo of Ziz and Albino Zebra. Storm Spirit there to join in. Oklahoma scores his second kill of the game. The combo's working. Inkswell, you have 2 targets to use it on. You can hook shot the Clockwork in. You can send the Storm Spirit with the Ball Lightning. find yourself a guaranteed stun.
Yep, they've been pulling it off pretty smoothly so far.
As it has. We've got an armlet on the Kunkka, building BKB. Only also building a BKB. We have the Meteor Hammer Nyx Assassin. Why not? Once you get that level 10 talent for the Impel stun duration, you should always be able to get that Meteor Hammer to connect from the Impel.
And it's a very nice farming tool for a hero that otherwise has no farming tools. We've seen in the past Nyx Assassins build Midas. That's much more of a waste than Gravity.
Yeah, you see, like, you build a Midas on the Nyx Assassin, but then you're really thinking, like, this is actually benefiting my team. This is benefiting me. Like, the Meteor Hammer provides a lot more.
Sometimes you are the team.
Sometimes you are, true.
You just gotta believe in yourself. My team really needs me to buy this hand
to build a Midas.
Yes.
Imagine how if you could actually convince your entire team to be like, I need this Midas. You could literally see the faces of your teammates at that point when you mention the word Midas.
Hey, listen, if you can convince them, it's fair, right? A lot of people just build that Midas without convincing people first. You gotta
that's how you're supposed to do it. You don't make them agree. You build it because you make the decision for it, and the rest just kind of have to deal with it.
I thought we were in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, depends. There's a fine line between haggling and starting a war. But look at this. Is again Inkswell with the hook shot. Kunkka down to half HP. The Ice Blast is also coming there to try and save the Kunkka. The turnaround for the Kunkka is going to be enough though, and he's going to get killed. Though it's a 1-for-1. It is to carry Kunkka down. So Felt would hope to find something more. It looks like he's just going to have to suffice with just one.
I'm getting this ward here, unfortunately undefended now. Getting dewarded by Steel Borko. And that leaves Evo almost blind. They do have the more, I don't want to say defensive lineup, but they certainly farm faster than Felt does right now. So I don't think they mind too much that they can't put any offensive wards down. They are going for the smoke.
So the game has calmed down a little bit. And as soon as I say that, I feel like we're going to see an escalation point once again. As this smoke doesn't seem to find anybody. Electronic Boys could stay in the area for a bit longer. Establish some vision. This sentry will get rid of the Ops ward as soon as Felt throws any ability showing a vision onto the high ground. And SF has been spotted via sentry. Dust being used, but it's a bait. The bait, boys. I've fallen for it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Didn't have to do much mid, though. Yeah, they're gonna find Steel Borko. He does throw out the Ice Blast. Doesn't look like it actually does any proper damage, because Felt is not really ready to fight this. But for Electronic Boys, finding 2 kills just like that, and at the first point, when you're thinking you smoke into the enemy jungle, and first of all, you don't find anybody, SF goes for the Shadow Blade to bait out the Nyx Assassin with an unlucky sentry spotting him, trying to make a run for it, gets dusted. Nyx is like, oh, I'm going for this. Storm is preparing to jump in, and then a Clockwork appears. Ta-da! It's like, okay. I shouldn't have.
It's just both of the supports though. I think Felt is also happy to get their items up first. There's going to be a Lotus Orb on his Timbersaw, which is going to do so much work.
They saved the AA for a bit. Meteor Hammer, Torrent, they've got the clock. It doesn't actually hit. It does actually hit, but never mind. The boat is there. And Oklahoma zips and zaps in to making sure they get the kill on the Ancient Apparition, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Gonna be next one. It's gonna be Alvino Zebra. Make it 2-for-1. He stays and he stares into the eyes of the dead Grimstroke.
Gotta make sure they're not wiggling anymore. But no, as I was saying, this Lotus Orb is going to change the game around quite a bit, both for himself as well as for these supports. It's going to free him up versus the Orchid, and make sure that he can take over the task of frontliner again, which he has had a bit of trouble with up until this point. And then, of course, there is also a BKB coming up very shortly for the Kunkka. And I think when both of those items are done, we're going to see an acceleration from Felt.
Well, we have brought our way all the way from being 2,000 gold behind back to actually a bit of a lead, you could almost say, for Electronic Boys. But still, margins are very small, very short between each other, so Like we have anything decisive yet from either side. BKBs are going to have a big impact for this game. I feel like Kunkka's got his finished. Yep, there's an Ogre Axe on the Courier, so BKB is ready. Timbersaw working on that Lotus Orb, still needs to go halfway with it. About the Meteor Hammer from the Mixed Assassin, but for Electronic Boys, actually, I haven't really talked about their itemization for a bit. Kaya Sanj for the Storm Spirit. He's considering it, but right now it looks like he's also lining up a BKB to go in first. Before that, this Prophet looking to build a Shadow Blade, so we already have a Shadow Blade on the SF. That too, at least it gives him that potential for split pushing, but he's gone for this BKB Orchid build. So you're believing the Storm Spirit, this Nature's Prophet to be the guy who snipes the backline.
Right now, well, he's not getting sniped, but Felt is here to stop off this attempt at a push. And right now it feels like both teams are a little bit disconnected, just waiting to see what has to happen. They had such a high octane start of the game that
they're waiting for their items.
Yeah. It's almost a
both teams have so many big items, like already over halfway, so everybody's farming, because I feel like if either team got an edge with all that brawling going on, past 10 minutes almost, if one team was on the winning side the whole time, they could have just kept on going and the other teams backing out. But since neither one really gave in, it was chaotic kills here and there. We're now at the point where everybody wants to get ready. And now Ziz breaks the armistice. Wake me up. The same combo again. Inkswell with the hook shot. Works wonders for Electronic Boys.
I haven't seen it miss yet.
Facing Murdoch. Murdoch goes invis with the Shadow Blade. He backs out from mid. Still, there's that Felt mid tier 1 tower remaining and still holding, which Electronic Boys would love to take down.
And I think it's going to come on this BKB for Murdoch. As important as the BKB for the Kunkka is, the SF is that much bigger.
Okay, look at this brawl. Another fight breaking loose. Oklahoma looking for Steel Porco. Like his almost ancient enemy, the Ancient Apparition. The save from the OD is going to be enough to keep the Ancient Apparition alive. They're going to lose the Grimstroke and still keeping up the push on Zor. Zor moving Oklahoma away. Murdoch gets the kill on Steel Porco with the help of the Requiem. And it's just so many fights breaking loose. Nature's Prophet almost pushing towards the high ground, but Zor is already on point. Gets there in time before the Treants make it to the high ground. And this is something you always have to watch. You take a team fight, an intense team fight, you lose somebody at the start of the fight. Nature's Prophet could just call his team, buy some time, stall. I'm gonna push.
And he's got both of those top towers down already. This is a serious threat. Now, whenever he wants to, he can press the doorbell on the racks and say, hey, come home. There's a delivery for you. It's damage.
And that's where Phil really has to start making decisions, and really important decisions, like, do we kind of give up this team fight to TP back home? Or do we continue with the fight, hope that we score some kills, maybe get some building damage taken on our tier 3, but if we win the fight, we can push an objective. It's decision-making at this point when you're looking at these traps, the way they play out.
Getting split push is one of the biggest tests for your team fight communication, or for your team communication that you can have, because you can't make the decision in the moment.
This wants to go. Albino, he's there with the clockwork again. Inkswell just needs a clear opening, just needs a bit of vision, just needs to see where this Timbersaw is. Have the vision for it. They're calling it off for now. They see the Ancient Apparition de-warding, and Clockwork is right there. He turns around, and he's gonna get caught. Might have just overstayed their welcome a bit too long, and they're gonna sack the clock. So they showed up in force. They showed up in force to defend their own jungle. Why are the enemies in their own jungle, I wonder?
Dire's middle tower
it's theirs.
is under attack.
Now onto Murdoch. Oh, you can't lose this SF. SF might have to use her BKB, but she's getting the invis out, but it's not going to be enough. Is this prison going to do it? It will. It's just enough damage. Even if the OD pop BKB, still would have probably gotten right click to death.
Yep.
It is enough, and Oklahoma's found a returning kill. Yeah. Again, the Ancient Apparition. The one kill Oklahoma can get. Move out. They're going Roshan, though.
With the OD, you get some decent speed on it. Look at those Arcane Orbs go. And Soji's going to take the Aegis here as well.
I feel like you kind of have to.
Dire's
Like, if
bottom
you
tower
can
is
put it
under
on the
attack.
Kunkka, but what's Kunkka really gonna do except just deal damage when OD is really the one frontlining and kind of playing the risky role? Timbersaw is gonna be fine. Timber is pretty tanky. I like that the OD is the one to pick it up instead of your carry. Like, this is very crucial for the OD to stay alive in team fights.
He is going to be the prime target. This Kunkka can soak a lot of damage.
And, oh, would you look at that? Oh, okay, also the mid.
There's only two of them here, though.
Anything else except maybe the Kunkka, the one who does not have the BKB. The Soul Mind's connected onto two. The hook shots there with the BKB save from Murdoch, and they're going to take down the next assassin. Looking for the Kunkka kill. Comfort trying to make a run for it, but there's a wall of trios in between. And the jump from Oklahoma. He gets it. The armlet juke at the same time as the ball lightning goes through, and Oklahoma gets the Kunkka on the retreat.
They were up so
For a
far.
successful fight despite the ages. It's 2 kills for Electronic Boys.
We have to be very careful here now to not lose any more heroes. At the very least, Oklahoma doesn't have that much mana anymore. No runes available for him to refill yet either, but... Oh, that was a bit of yikes.
This is just a Kaya Storm Spirit too. Like, he's not super efficient, but still very scary with the damage he applies. Kunkka just getting a bit unlucky there with the armlet toggle right on top of the Storm Spirit jumping on him from short range. It still does damage, but it was enough damage. Speed in bottom. Wake Me Up has dust. They can hunt this Nature's Prophet, but OD's not wanting to reveal himself. It would be too obvious if he now just walked in. But look at that.
Chain's
BKB
not
force for the
perfect.
Nature's Prophet. Delt has, sorry, Wake Me Up has
And now in the
actually dealt
jungle.
enough damage, but meanwhile in the topside jungle, the Timbersaw. And Kunkka just respawned, so you have another hero dead again when you thought you're back in full strength.
Oh, Felt. And they're losing these fights without the SF ever being involved. He is slowly creeping towards the top of the network, and we haven't seen all of this physical damage come into play yet. This is dangerous for Felt. They've got to get themselves together and group for a fight instead of losing heroes left and right like they're doing right now. There's still an Aegis on Solji.
Invisibility.
There is, still for 2.5 minutes too. But OD is just basically getting to farm. Bro, that they're not focusing at all. Electronic Boys just wanting to play this top half of the map. Constant pressure, keep that area alive for them to control. Obviously holding both outposts, so they're getting a lot of experience on these supports. You can start to feel it soon. Though those level differences aren't too big. And still Borko, yeah, AA, not having the most funnest of games, but he has a Force Staff to go away. And Sis might have timed it a little bit wrong. He does have a Blade Mail. He's going to get hit by this Meteor Hammer, and it is a perfect one. And Wake Me Up will also be there for the stun of the Grimstroke double kill for Solji.
There we go, that's more like it.
Felt are definitely reacting fast. Every time they see an opportunity, they are there in strength, and they're there with haste.
And they have to keep this up, because otherwise the split push is just going to grind them down. They just lost the bottom tower as well. There's already a shard up on speed now as well, plus that Shadow Blade at the ready. He is fully geared up to keep on tearing this Felt lineup apart. Comfort guesses right though.
And that AA Blast looks to do the trick. This MP's not gonna live through it unless you BKB. Nope. Nope.
That
He
opens
does not
up.
value his own life. He does not value his own life. Oklahoma onto the high ground. Requiem. We'll buy some time for the Stormster to go away. They found the Nyx Assassin too, and now the BKBs both using them. Getting a quick kill on Wake Me Up, but it's a 2 versus 4 with the help arriving from Albino, Zebra, and Ziz. And Ziz will go for the hookshot, gets the Kunkka, but there's one guy in between, and it's Solji with the OD. And he's caught the SF. The SF in trouble. Murdoch getting punished. And nowhere to go. Felt find another kill. 2 big cores fall on the NP and the SF. And for the first time, it feels like an eternity since the first minutes of the game. They're back in the network lead.
They are, and man, Ziz, I think he could have used those cogs to try and save Murdoch instead, but he reads the situation wrong. He thinks that they're still fighting. Goes for the backline, and unfortunately that costs them the SF.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They pop their BKBs for a Nyx Assassin kill. Look at this replay as well. They're like, oh, Nyx is right next to us. and Storm's still at 300 mana. Do you really think you have a proper fight here? Comfort, he's just soaking it all up and waiting and buying time, and then OD sees his opening, he sees his timing, and they find the best kill they probably could have found. The SF after the BKB ran out. Meanwhile, bottom, a big fight about to break loose here too, but the ODZ controlled, and no Aegis this time for Solji to save him, and he's gonna go down. The AA blast from Steel Barco connecting on two, but the Storm still keeps zapping back in. The user BKB just to make sure he doesn't get hit by an X mark. And Albino Zebra gets rid of the vision, at least applied, but SF is keeping top. SF's like, I'm not joining this party anymore. Like, like, you have your fun. I'm out. I'm not joining.
And you can see here how crucial the BKB is for the OD. If he doesn't have it, immediate death.
Yeah. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 tower now being pushed. The NP teleporting straight away to the top lane. Steel Borko is going to be meeting up with that creep wave. A couple of treants and a catapult. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any damage though, because Steel is there.
He's got the shard as well. This is possibly the best thing that happened to AA since, well, sliced bread. You finally have an AoE ability. You can clear creep waves. You can clear camps. And
AA, you like sliced bread? Every time you learn something new.
I've been told that sliced bread is amazing. Like that's
AA doesn't even have a mouth. Where do you stuff the bread? How does this guy even eat? How does this guy even live? I don't know. Maybe that's why he's chosen frozen a chunk of ice. Solji Meteor Hammer is prepared again. It's a bit late, but it doesn't matter because Clockwork does not have KB. So Ziz, cornered, punctured. Roshan is also up with a minimum of 50 seconds. Electronic Boys moving around the area. Wake me up. Trying to go for a scouting run, but there's a sentry, and he might have just overstepped his limits. And there we go again. We've seen this before. Solji goes for the save, but it's a bit of an optimistic one. BKB force. Murdoch pops his as well, and Wake Me Up getting a stun. And they've killed the OD. They might as well kill this Nyx assassin while they're at it, and they will.
That's
a bit of a risk assessment gone wrong.
Yeah, you cannot go into that neighborhood, son. The Nyx is gone.
With 5, maybe. With 5 heroes, maybe. Or just leave the Nyx for dead. Now Murdoch's like, hello, Gunka. I have come to greet you, my friend. Last turnaround, speeds, don't want to tank it. There's a zoning ult.
There's another.
Wait, no.
Keep on going.
That's gone a bit too deep. He's got the Lotus Orb. He's low in mana, though. He does have a soul ring, but where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go, my friend? Absolutely nowhere. Electronic Boys, even if they, for a couple minutes, they gave some edge for Feld with that Aegis. A couple fights after that was like, okay, they're actually taking a bit of beating here. Now they found themselves, what, 3 kills in a quick time span? And the map is open for them to push.
One by one by one. And again, that same problem where Feld is just not really ready to back each other up. They're overpositioned just a little bit.
Into mid. Felt they want to take this fight even with 3 heroes. Wake Me Up finds the Storm Spirit. BKB's there. Second stuns there. Steel Barco. AA Blast. They got the BKB off at least. Solji with the save. He's got the hammer prepared. Oklahoma's trying to get the kill on the Ancient Apparition, but he just finished a Glimmer Cave. It's going to be fine, but Merlin coming up with the ulti too is going to get at least 1. But look at this. This Shadow Fiend's not going to be necessarily doing enough unless they can get the Solji. Solji goes for the saving bubble. He sees the Ink Swell. The Torrent on 2 from Comfort. Oklahoma jumping in between. The Storm Spirit still there with low HP. They've taken Merlin. They've taken speed too. And it's now down to the Grim Stroke to finish the job. He kills Steel Barco, almost gets the kill. Can the Treants finish the job? They need to time it perfectly with this armlet. But no, not provided with an opportunity for this. And these fights are just out of this world. It's a 3 for 3.
Absolutely incredible. I think if that Inkswell from Albino Zebra is slightly later as well, he's got the shard, right? He's got that Dispel, and we've seen before how that immediately takes the SF out of the Torrent. They could have finished off both the Kunkka as well as the OD there if he had actually managed to Dispel.
There's so much stuff going on here.
Right here, because the Dispel is going to pop right now. Torrent immediately after. Oh,
That's
that's
a great way
unfortunate.
to set up there with the torrent. You're getting your prison as soon as you see the Inkswell come out from the Grimstroke. Unfortunately, not able to get the kill on the Kunkka. While if they did get the Kunkka kill, that would have been huge for Electronic Boys. Timber now trying to catch the Storm, but he's very quick on his feet. And yeah, just found a casual region rune for the Storm Spirit. So
They're
if he
following.
does something with it, or they found the Clockwork. Yep, Strength Heroes don't really stand much of a chance against this Timber Saw. He's going to have to use his entire arsenal for this. And Kunkka spots the Roaches up. This is a 40-second potential window without the Clockwork. But the Roach lineup from Felt, it's not an optimal one for taking Roach off.
It's not. You gotta put everybody in the pit, except for your one big teamfight ult, which is the AA. And that's usually not enough to control it on a defensive fight, because the enemy doesn't all need to be in the pit.
Well, they're going to try at least. Comfort does pack a punch with this Kunkka. I feel like that's everything they really have. There's no minus armor, no whatsoever, but they're going to go for it. The Soulbind connecting on next Assassin. Oklahoma coming to the south as Lees with the Lotus Orb is there, but still goes through. Doesn't matter. They've got the BKB. The Requiem is there too. Salty's already taken the agent for himself, and he's waiting for BKB to run out, waiting to drop the hammer, and he drops it right away, but it doesn't do any damage because the Shadow Fiend was still BKB'd. They will get Albino Zebra, but now the OD is alone, and Sizz, he misses the hook shot. He goes for the hard camp instead of the OD. And the Grimstroke is the only actual proper
Dire's
death
middle
here
tower is under attack.
for Electronic Boys. They score a big victory, but still Aegis secured on the OD. And I'm just trying to find out what went down with that fight. Like, I hope we got a replay on that one. That was pretty wild.
I kind of want to see it as well, because they lose heroes down to just the sheer damage. Great setup there by the Brimstroke Assault, because we're going to get double silence into double pull into everything Murdoch can throw at them.
Like the OD is feared inside the Roche pit, so he's unable to do anything. But they drops the ulti, but it doesn't really do much onto the Shadow Fiend because he doesn't have a single Astral Imprisonment stolen mana stack on himself, so he didn't really hurt this SF, despite the SF only having like what, 900 mana as a max mana pool. That's half compared to what the OD has. So you would suspect that SF's going to take a lot of damage, but he barely took any.
Barely did. And he's got himself a butterfly now. This is actually a big deal. The physical damage over on Felt is so limited. They really only have this Kunkka to deal it, which is... We know the Kunkka, if he was ever played in like a pause 1 condition, you go for the big splashes. He is not a continuous hitter. If you miss one of those big hits, then, you know... the SF's gonna live. And he does not care about the BKBs.
An Albino Zebra. And Sizz. Yeah, they were thinking about going in again. Lost vision for a second. Felt, meanwhile, smoking. Oh! With Comfort here. Somebody TPs to this tier 2 tower. That's going to be a goner. Boys still holding on the other side of the map, so... It's struggling to keep this split push away from their base. Happening at the same time, but OD, they found a target in the mid lane. They've got the BKB from Storm Spirit to save him for a little bit longer. Doesn't take damage from the Ice Blast. And OD, he's in a world of hurt, but that's round number 1. He's still got a BKB up, and a Blink Dagger is ready. Sadly, no targets to be found. Meanwhile, Murdoch, he did get to push the tier 3 tower down, and the glyph has also been used, and they're trying to chase the SF.
Gem on the
Speed
Nyx
is also there. They've got, yeah, he's got the gem. He sees 2 targets right now. He sees the NP also being pushed in the lane, but while that is happening, they found the Kunkka. Comfort all by himself in the mid lane, and they get the kill on him, and he's out for 100 seconds. Meanwhile, the Nature's Prophet Speed getting hit by the hammer, and backup is not arriving in time as Felt. They're still feeling it. It's a 4v3 fight right now. Zor going in. They've got Oklahoma with the Inkswell. Zolty, he's going to have to use his BKB right away, but he dropped the hammer again, but it doesn't do any damage. This is with the hook shot. Make sure this OD is out of play. Nyx Assassin tries to make a run for it, but Electronic Boys, it looks like they figured out how Felt play this game. And these team fights, it starts from one kill to another, and you're fighting underhanded, short-handed even. Electronic Boys could just be taking racks first.
And this time Murdoch gets to come in last, gets to come in after all of those big disables have already been thrown down, and right-clicks everybody into oblivion. This was always going to be the key to the game, the carry matchup, which is not a carry versus definitely a carry in the SF. And the Kunkka feels like an accessory at this point, compared to what Murdoch brings to the table.
Like you see, the Kunkka is going for Assault Cuirass because you're playing up against an agility carry hero, so SF with 27 drops down to what? Not that much armor. He's still got so much.
No,
so even if you get hit by Tidebringer, it's not going to do anything. So it's OD's job to kill the SF, but OD is only as effective as a BKB duration, which is still a couple seconds on the SF. So you're in trouble for the majority of the fight.
Yep. Now that AC especially is here as well to do the work of negating the presence of the Dark Lord, hoping to help his team survive the literal presence of Murdoch, who is on his own on his bot lane, by the way. Yeah, he is going to get pushed out. He's not allowed to be there.
Electronic Boys have had their moments during the course of these first 2 weeks. Unable to score a series victory. Now, again, have the opportunity to stretch this all the way to 3 maps. They just need to secure this second game victory. It just might be happening for them. This is the most crucial moment of the game. Don't let go. Don't throw it away. Don't let the enemy have it. Steel Barco getting hook-shotted. Clockwork is there to apply the initial kill. Speed with the BKB, isolating and splitting Felt in two. Solji is there. BKB's available. Satanic with this is
so
not going to be enough. Satanic's healing ain't there. Solji with a buyback. Comfort. Being kited. This boy's being kited. They're making this Kunkka run for his life. With this, it's just not looking to be enough. Albino Zebra getting prisoned away. Wake me up. He's being blocked by Treants. They're both keeping the Nyx Assassin out, and they are teaming away. At least the Storm Spirit makes his way out, but Solji with the buyback, they get something out of it. But another fight like this, the game's going to be over. You're not going to get this OD back a second time.
Absolutely, he's a liability now. They have to get something out of this fight, but unfortunately, no Roshan for quite a while. They can push in through the middle, but there's double buybacks up on E-Boys. This is very dangerous.
As you can see in the screenplay, Murdoch's just hacking away with those right clicks, and then Comfort, when he's finally like, let me show you my true might. Oh, where's everybody going? It's like playing tag. And look at the Treants. Look at the Treants keeping Wake Me Up from completely even participating in the team fight. What a great micro play there from Speed. I'm not sure if he did that intentionally. Did he just have the units following a target with an A-click down on the ground? But it did look for a second that he just moved them to block that small entrance and left them there because the Nyx Assassin was not going anywhere.
And now those same Treants, permanent damage in the mid lane. This base is getting chipped away at, even when Felt are winning these fights. And they just haven't felt in a position where they could actually go and deal some damage of their own. They've gotten some towers down, but all of the base towers of E-Boys are still pristine. These lanes are always over on the dire side of the map.
Solji's gonna go for a refresher. Really wants to pump up some extra from this OD.
He needs a secondary BKB. Right now he's holding it for as long as possible because he knows that as soon as it's over he's toast, but that's meant that Oklahoma has been able to find him several times already.
That's the big issue for him, that he needs to survive a tiny bit longer. A couple extra seconds from a Blacking Bard charge. Very useful for him. Another hook shot there from Ziz. Got Wake Me Up. Nyx Assassin drawing the attention of two heroes. They're going to soak up the Ice Blast damage, but look at this. Comfort might get a return kill on the Clockwork. And NP also jumping the back lines looking for Solji. Speed keeps the OD inside the Sprout, but this OD's not going anywhere. And this guy almost right-clicks him down to death. Murdoch's there too. And that should be it. That should be it with the OD gone. Timber forced back to the high ground. And Comfort tries to battle it out. 1 versus 4. He's got one, but he's not getting the hit, Murdoch. He's still holding himself alive for a bit longer. Albino Zebra trying to get the connection there. The Tidebringer connects again. And it's not enough for the Kunkka. They're so low on HP, but it's not enough. Ice Blast. He hopes it's gonna hit someone. It's not. It's not gonna hit.
They just ignored comfort throughout this entire fight. All of the supports were in the front line, tanking these hits, because it's a Kunkka. If you don't get a gigantic crit off to start off the fight and immediately blow somebody up, you're just going to be walking around begging for people to pay attention to you, while this SF clicks everybody down, and now they're going again. Zora is up so far.
And this Timbersaw. He is not coming back. He can't afford his buyback. He's 300 gold short. The only one who has it is Steel Borko. So we're looking at maybe potentially lost buildings inside the base. Oklahoma holding the gem too. Could easily catch this Nyx Assassin off guard.
This could even be game.
Look, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of mana burn from the mana burn. And the Nyx Assassin, but this Nyx isn't looking to run away. Storm chases it all the way. And onto the tier 4 towers. Murdoch says, we've had enough of this one. Oklahoma hit with the Ice Blast. That's a Storm dead though, so Steel Borko gives a bit of a fighting chance. But still, it's still an SF that they have to deal with. It's not going to be enough. They need more heroes for this. They need 20 seconds. Glyph is going to buy a couple of that. I feel that Glyph just might be enough to hold back Electronic Boys. Or is it?
Storm can still buy back the shrine.
It's not. Yeah, look at this. It's gone. It's over. It's GG. Look at the way this buildings just melt with -6